Thanks, Chester. Our next guest is the host of Worldwide Nate, a travel show that celebrates the adventure, fun, and food around the world. And Nathan Fluellen says it was a professor at his alma mater that sparked his interest in travel.
Well, the root of everything is Tennessee State University. While I was attending Tennessee State, my economics professor, Dr. Galen Hall, wrote this autobiography called Crossing Cultures. And in it, he challenged me to be an entrepreneur and see more countries than him. And so when he did that, I was like, oh, I could do this because my family had been traveling around the world my entire life. My mother going on missionary trips, a couple cousins playing ball overseas, an older uncle who always would tell these stories about him playing ball in Lyon, France. And then I have a cousin that works for the Venetian in Macau. So he's always lived out of the country. So I have an international family. And so I always put international travel into the bucket of that's what adults do. So when he challenged me, I was like, oh, I'm an adult. I can go out in the world and do this.
Man, and you know, Nate, that is, first of all, that's such a powerful message. Shout out to all those teachers that put something on young people's minds to make them excel. So shout out to your professor. Man, what a great concept, a chance to escape with Nate. You go to Africa, you go to exotic locales, you do exciting things. So Nate, what have you learned about yourself? Tell us about some of the places that you enjoy the most, and what have you learned about yourself when put in another culture?
Well, I love Africa. My favorite country is South Africa. And what I love about it is just being back in the continent. And it reminds me of just a bigger version, a bigger universe of what TSU offered, because I grew up going to private school. So when I got to TSU, was around all these Black people, I was just so excited and seeing the diversity amongst Black people. So that's what I learned, is that we're not monolithic. And then being on the continent of Africa, you have the different tribes. So you're in the country of South Africa, and they have 9 official languages. So you have the Zulu, Xhosa, all these different tribes. So it was cool to be there and participate in these traditions. And then I was just asking a question like, so this is what y'all been doing for centuries since Shaka Zulu was around. He was like, yeah, this is the Zulu culture. And to be able to experience that was just like, wow. Like, with us in the US, we always get the history of slavery and everything. And it's just our whole existence, is centuries beyond that. And to be able to go to Africa is that connection that I've longed for, and it also gives me a sense of self and a sense of belonging and pride in who I am, and reaffirms, like the tradition, the lineage that I come from. So when I travel around the world, I know that I'm representing more than myself.
And they tell us, for those who've never seen the show, tell us about the show, what you do. I mean, if you're so active, you actually plug yourself into the real cultures there. Tell us about your show for somebody who's never seen it.
So Worldwide Nate African Adventures demystifies travel to Africa for the average American millennial, and it celebrates the adventure, the food, and the cuisine that is literally everywhere. So in the show, I scuba dive with 12 black tip oceanic sharks with no cage. I competed with the Maasai and the Maasai Olympics in Kenya, went surfing with the Zulu boys and girls in Durban, South Africa, and hiked to the top of the Nyiragongo volcano in the Congo, the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So we did a 5-hour hike through a rainstorm, had dinner at the top of the volcano, which has the world's largest lava lake, spent the night, woke up in the morning, had breakfast, and drank a cup of coffee while looking at this lava lake just explode, which is what that lava lake is doing right now as we speak.
It's amazing, man. So for those who haven't traveled internationally, for those who've been hesitant, what would you say and what would you recommend that, maybe their first experience or how they, get onto the travel lifestyle?
I suggest people go to where they've always desired or fantasized of going. I get asked that question a lot about where should I go, but it's always turn it back on that person. Is like, well, where have you always desired to go? And it could be somebody who watched James Bond movies and saw a destination, was like, oh, I want to go there. And it's just like, yeah, go to that destination and relive and be the James Bond of yourself, or any other destination that inspires you, or any other, however you learned about a destination, go and explore it in that same way. And if that satisfies you and then gives you that travel bug, then mission accomplished. Because once you travel, you're going to want to travel more, and you're going to become more cultured and become more aware. You're going to make friends, and it's just going to expand your whole living and perspective outside of, you know, the United States.
Worldwide Nate's airs on the Africa Channel and worldwidenate.com. His podcast, Escape with Nate, is available wherever you get your podcasts.